Hi everyone, thank you for watching DevRelCon Tokyo 2021 interview session. I'm Dyson, co-organizer of the conference. In this series, we invite awesome speakers of the event and we ask them to introduce themselves and their talks. Today's show, we have Kiran Oliver from Camunda. It's my first time to talk with them, so I'm very excited to get to know about Ring. Are you ready? If so, please welcome Ring.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for the welcome. It's great to be here.
Thank you for joining today. How are you doing today?
I'm good. It is early in the morning where I am, and I am excited to
Oh,
be here. Have my coffee, good to go.
oh wow. Thanks for joining it. What time is it right now
It's
inside?
9:16, but I've been awake since like
Mhm.
6, so everything feels early
Oh,
when you're up at 6.
I see. Yeah,
Yeah,
thanks for joining. Yeah,
you're
so
so
like I
welcome.
said, it's the first time to talk with you. So
Absolutely.
very first step is, get to know about you. So can you introduce yourself, please?
Sure. My name, as I said, is Kiran Oliver, and I am a technical community builder at Camunda, and I do a lot of work in open source, and I work as a part of the developer experience team, which is a subset of the developer relations team at Camunda. And I've been there for about
Oh,
6
sorry.
months almost.
Cool, cool. Thank you. Yeah.
You're very welcome.
It's nice to have you. So,
Nice to be
um,
here.
yeah. So, I heard that you were working on the open source community. So
Absolutely.
your talk is going to be about a community thing. So can you describe your talk but without spoilers because we wanna keep that in on the day. So
Oh, wow. Without spoilers. Oh, gosh. Sometimes when you're working on an open source project, it can be hard to differentiate what's what. Is this a piece that's owned by the company, or is it a piece that's built by the community? Whose is it? What can you use it in production, etc.? And being able to differentiate these things in open source is really important, and creating projects that highlight the work that open source communities are doing to extend your product or platform is really important. And one of the ways that you can do that is spoiler alert. So um, that's what my talk is about without spoilers, basically, is how we can come together and build those organizations and highlight those
Mhm.
initiatives and make sure that there's more clarity in open source projects and open source extensions. So that's a very high level overview of my talk with as few spoilers as possible.
Yeah, you can spoil the audience. So yeah, that I get it.
Yeah.
Open source community tend to have the both company side and then personal side, a community side. Now, I have a friend who works on the one of the open source project, and he's been working for like 10 years, I
Oh
think,
wow.
and it's being widely used by enterprise, but it's- the the person is very struggling with the monetizing or doing their own work without having the support. So I'm not sure that that relates to your talk, but there is a challenges for the open source community and also the growth of the community itself. So what do you think about the, those situation right now?
Oh, I have a lot of thoughts about that. There's always that line between enterprise and community, and especially when developers start to do things like GitHub sponsorship, but they're contributing to open source. And I love the GitHub sponsor model. I think it's great. I think it's a great initiative to give back to open source. And I think that we should also look out for the mental health and well being of maintainers and do more to support open source contributors, because working in open source can be a full-time job even though you already have one. So I
Mhm.
think there's got to be more awareness on that, and I think that it's totally within the rights of open source maintainers to ask for things like sponsorship, especially if people expect regular updates and these things are used by enterprise companies. In my opinion, it's the least an enterprise company can do would be to give back to those developers that are working on that stuff that they're using in production.
Thanks. Yeah, I agree with that. Also, that the problem, I don't say problem, but a challenge for the open source project is to grow their community side or community members or contributors or maintainers. Is there any tips for the newly started open source project?
Absolutely,
Able
yeah.
to grow.
Definitely. I think what I've experienced in my time, I'm a member of Kubernetes, and something that keeps people coming back to Kubernetes is the community. If you build a friendly, welcoming community, people will want to seek it out and they will want to get involved because they know that the people there are welcoming, they're friendly, and that they'll help them if they have issues. That's something that I've experienced and I know to be true, is that if you run into problems, somebody will help you if you're contributing to open source in Kubernetes and a lot of other open source projects I've been involved with as well. It's just people will help you. They will make sure that they take the time out of their day to make sure that you're understanding the concepts and they'll get you started. And I think it's really about, like I said, building a solid community that people want to be a part of. And labeling your issues really well helps as well. So they know there's a good first issue, they can tackle that one. And if they're got a little more experience, just making sure that your issues are clearly labeled so that people know where they can jump in and where help is needed. That's another thing too, is if you don't want people to touch a certain piece of code, just say so. Be like, don't touch that part, but you're welcome to work on all these other ones. So it's really about being clear and having those designations of where contributions are welcome and where they might not be.
See, yeah. No, thanks for the tips. Another question is you are going to have a great talk on the day, but one thing that you wanna your audience to take, key takeaway from your talk, the one thing, you know, you want your audience to learn from your talk.
Ooh, the one thing I want them to learn.
Just one
Gosh.
thing.
Oh no. Oh gosh. I would say that implementing a place for your community to gather and share the things that they have built can be a challenge, but it also empowers new contributors and gives maintainers a place to collaborate and come together and connect with your community. So having that community gathering place or organization on GitHub to highlight community extensions to your project is huge, and it's a really big boon to any organization that wants to work with open source and support open source developers that are creating these extensions and plugins, etc., for their product.
Cool. Yeah, it's gonna be very good learning for the open source project people or who developers who want to start their own projects. So it's gonna be
Absolutely.
fun.
I'm excited. I'm really looking forward to this, and thank you so much for having me. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. The date is June 5th, so make sure that you are safe, your family is safe, and I hope that we see you soon again on that day.
Yes, indeed. I'll be there.
Cool. Okay. Is there anything that you want to ask for the organizers or events or the audience on the day, or anything that because we have some time to
Yeah.
chat about.
Since we have some time, I would say, in terms of scheduling this and everything across the platforms and whatnot with virtual events and everything, how did you find that this year? Have you found it easier? Have you found it more difficult compared to doing this in 2020, for example?
People are very used to doing the conference online, so it's much easier for us to work with the speakers actually, and also the audiences that they know the deal. So it's going to
Yeah.
be online. But one thing that we try to do is to having fun with the conference. So we created a game for the DevRel
Ooh.
on the event. So if you sign up to the DevRelCon Tokyo 2021, we're gonna send an email how to play the game, and they have the chance to win for the swags.
Oh,
And
that's fun.
yeah. So if you haven't played, please do, because I was the one of the main programmer of the game. So I
Oh.
wish that everybody played, and
I will do
get
that
back to
then.
my feedback.
I love games. I will absolutely do that. That makes me happy. Gamification is another thing that I really like. I actually did an internship back in 2013 for a gamification organization. That was really fun.
Cool. So please do.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So thank you for joining me
Thank
today, and
you.
it was great fun with talking with you. And
It was
now
great
we're
fun.
gonna see
Yes.
you soon.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. Take care.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks, Ring. Yeah, it was great talk, and I had much fun. I want to learn about the open source community more with their talk. So it's gonna be great. If you haven't registered the work on Tokyo 2021, like I said, it's gonna be free, and we have the game that we can play in advance. I'm not sure if we still have the swag left, but still you can play and submit the form. You know, to have a chance to win swag. So please go to the DevRelCon Tokyo 2021 site. And this is everything about today's interview. We're gonna have another interview tomorrow, so we'll see you soon in a few hours. Thank you. Have a great night.